Back to Families in Action on your local hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I was going to change it to our
right.
local hometown station, because I know when I'm in Santa Clarita, that's the only station that's on my radio. Kim, wow. It's like kind of like I was telling you earlier, by telling your story, you save lives.
Yeah, I tell you what.
And we just had somebody.
I tell you
call.
what, that was a real powerful phone call. I want to thank Blake for calling in, but
Took courage, Blake.
Not only that, but to have somebody. He said, "I was at your son's funeral. I know your son, and I'm still struggling with it." And Kelsey died in 2010, so here we are, 5 years later. 5 years later, and this young man is still struggling with it. We want to do everything we can to help him.
Struggling, but lucky.
Sure.
I mean, I hate to say
Sure.
it, you're still alive, buddy.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
Don't let that go away.
Yeah. So, I want to take us back a little bit to Kim. I want to thank you for not only talking about Kelsey's journey, but describing the night that he lost his life. And, and I know that's probably gets easier to do it, but never feels any easier. And, Garrett, I don't think that you have ever publicly spoken about the loss of your brother, correct?
No, I haven't.
And so, as your mom's talking about that and she's telling his story, what are you going through sitting there? Because you were just sitting there listening the same as us. What's
Actually,
that?
He was intensely
Right?
watching.
Yeah. What is that? What is that like for you to hear that story?
Well, I think it deserves a little bit of backstory to frame that properly.
Okay, absolutely.
For me, it's, Kelsey was my brother. He's my first brother. And I have him and two other siblings, my sister and my youngest brother, Cameron.
Right.
And we were separated when we were young. Broken home, just like a lot of American families. And we had a court-ordered adoption that occurred. And the last time I saw Kelsey, he was, 7 or 8? So, to me, he was a little kid.
He really was the baby brother, right?
That's
The baby brother.
When I hear the name Kelsey, I still picture
the
that.
7-year-old.
I didn't know him as an adult.
Yeah.
And I was out of the picture for almost 18 years. And in my head, constantly, all I was ever thinking was, I really need to get back in touch with my family. I need to see my brothers, see what they've done with their life. Take them out for food, go to Disneyland, do all the things I couldn't do with them when I was growing up.
Yeah, the cool stuff.
That was always what was going through my head. And, when he passed, the one who reached out to me was actually my cousin. Her name is Amber. She was one of the few people that was able to keep a line on me over the years.
Right.
And she called me one night and said, "Gary, Kelsey's dead." That was the first thing she said to me.
Wow.
And I hadn't even heard from her in, goodness, 10 years at least.
And you go right back to that 7-year-old, didn't you?
Yes.
In your head.
That my last memory was watching him and my youngest brother Cameron run out of the house to hug me when I got out of the van. That was always what happened. They were the best brothers.
Right.
They loved me to death.
I bet.
So, I'm just walking back into this world and I'm just hearing these stories. Well, Kelsey was such a ladies' man. He was so good with the ladies, and he had such a vibrant personality. His sense of humor was uncanny. He could connect with anyone from any, and I'm just hearing this guy, and I'm like, wow, he sounds awesome.
Yeah.
He was.
And he was taken from me.
Yeah.
That was not something I got to have in my life.
Yeah. But you know what? I think the last memory you have, you just said it perfectly. They were the best brother. He ran over and gave me a hug. I mean, that's one good memory to keep in your head.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you didn't see all the other parts, the heroin and the drug abuse and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
Well,
stay with the good memory.
And that's what that's what especially this drug, but that's what these drugs do. What I heard you say was he was taken from me, and really, I mean, that kind of captures what drug addiction does, and especially with these opiates, is they just take people. You know, they start off innocently. You know, Kim was talking about earlier, like it started with the pills, probably Vicodin or something like that, which, you know, if you're listening today, pay attention to your prescriptions that are inside of your medicine cabinets, especially if you have teenagers or friends of, teenage friends, right?
The opiates, the benzos, the muscle relaxers, all of them.
It starts innocently, and they're, not even thinking about taking a couple of pills, and pretty soon it's got a hold of a person, and it takes them for a ride. And sometimes that ride ends like Kelsey's, like Kelsey ended, and it's unfortunate.
Bob, I've been dealing with this for over 30 years. And when it comes to the opiates and all that kinds of stuff, I don't know anyone that's used 30 years. They're either clean or dead.
Right.
And I'm not kidding. I'm really sitting here trying to think about that. They're clean or dead, or on methadone or something for life.
Right.
There's not a fourth option. Clean, dead, or on some kind of methadone deal.
Yeah.
So wow, it's kind of a road that only ends up in bad places.
Yeah. So Garrett, I would imagine that on some level, because of this tragedy, that you and the rest of your family have grown a lot closer. Is that fair? Is that fair to say that?
That was. I hesitate to call it bittersweet because it's not a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing and a bad thing. Bad. Yeah.
But
there was the element of just you really place a lot of value and a lot of weight on who is left in your life once you've experienced that kind of loss. And it's one thing to lose a patriarch or someone that is older than you, because that's the natural order of things. When something violates the natural order of things,
right,
it just hits you in a whole different way. And I didn't feel like I had no contempt towards him. I was very empathetic. I was offered all kinds of drugs when I was in school. I was addicted to tobacco for many years.
Right.
So there was none of that bitterness towards him at all.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it can't be. It's just kind of one of those things that happens if you have that addictive personality and you start playing with stuff. I mean, the ride is bad. It's a ride to hell and no way around it.
Right.
So, it's good that you're here and you're talking about it. And all I got to say is, Bob, guess what? Let's take a break.
Let's go ahead and take a break. This is Families in Action, brought to you on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
Welcome back to Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm Cary Quashen along with Bob, and I'll tell you, this has been intense, but I'm as real as it can get. Garrett, you lost your brother. Last time you really got to see him, he was 7.
Yeah. If
he was here today, if he's listening to you, what would you say? Look at the camera and say it.
Life is not an easy game to play. I've had struggles. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is who you keep around you.
Yeah.
That's family, that's friends, it's your acquaintances, everyone you do business with. People are the essence of what really matters at the end of every day. And if you lean on those people, you can get through anything. Anything at all. And I wish you were here right now.
You still love him, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Let's pretend he can hear that.
Oh, yeah. I love you, man.
Yeah. Tell you, Bob.
Yeah, it's never easy, right? It's never easy.
It's not easy for us to be doing the show either.
You had made a statement, Garrett, earlier, and you said, it's not bittersweet. There's no sweet to it. It's all just that's a horrible tragedy that has taken place. But I tell you what, you guys, your bravery, your courage, your commitment to save lives by coming on and talking about this stuff. Means that Kelsey didn't die in vain.
No, and we're not going to allow that.
That's right.
Speaking about bravery and courage.
Yeah, we have another caller coming on. We have a couple of minutes. So
we believe is definitely one of our local heroes here in Santa Clarita.
My hero.
So I guess that would be Chrissy, right?
Yep.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. You just sent us a note. You were on the phone, Chrissy. You're on the air.
Oh, hi, Kim and Garrett. I'm sitting here in tears.
Yeah.
I can't thank you guys enough once again for helping bring this forward to the public, and I know that it's hard to do, and And I just appreciate it so much. And you know I love you, Kim. And we have been there for each other. And just listening to that morning with you, it's hard. It's hard. And I just hope that we can reach out and help more people not go through this, because these are good kids. I can't say that enough. And the drug turned on them. And of all the kids that I know that have passed from this, they all started with prescription opiates. And I do believe that it's a designer drug now, because I know people used to be afraid of it. And unfortunately, when you get hooked on those opiates, you're not afraid. It's just the next step, and we have to stop. And Garrett, I am so sorry for your loss, and I can't thank you enough for speaking out, for being a sibling and speaking out, because I don't think a lot of people understand how much it affects the siblings either.
Yeah.
Hey, Chrissy, stay on the line for a second. We only got a couple of minutes. Kim, what do you want to say to the listeners out there, the Blakes and the parents and everyone else?
Well, pay attention. Pay attention to, like Garrett said, who you surround yourself, what you're surrounding yourself with, and don't buy the lie that you can't do something about it. I think that's what someone's head would be going through, whether it's a parent, whether you're in it, whether you're doing the drug, or drugs, or there is something you can do, and that's just take one simple step. Reach out to somebody. I'll tell you right now, Chrissy, this amazing woman on the line, was my the first person I reached out to. I had to find out what was happening. How could I have lost my kid? This is not even okay. Should not have happened. Shouldn't have happened to our life. It happened.
Shouldn't happen to anyone's life.
It wasn't made right. It's not supposed to be that way. And I didn't understand it. And I wanted to know the magnitude. And the one person that had taken steps out to make awareness happen was right in front of me. She was online. She had gone out to have a voice, and she was who I needed to talk to.
Chrissy,
Chrissy, I love you so much.
Thank you. You know I love you too.
From everyone in Santa Clarita, we appreciate what you do for our children. Garrett, what do you have to say? People listening, we only have about a minute.
I'm just going to go back to what I said before, and that's that, as she reiterated, surrounding yourself with the right people. I can't stress that enough. That is the most important discipline in life that you could practice for anything, let alone just being clean.
Yep.
And I also wanted to add, just for a lot of parents who might be listening, I'm sure that wasn't that different for you when you were in school, but these drugs are so available.
Yeah.
So very available, and you're not a bad kid for finding them.
And so much more deadly than ever before. And you know what? I really believe this, that there really isn't any bad kids, but there's kids that make bad choices. And the choices that are bad today become very deadly very quickly.
Yeah, worse than ever. Worse than ever today.
Chrissy, 1 minute.
Again, I think that we as parents need to really pay attention early and educate ourselves, educate our children, starting with pot, and how horrible it is now. Because if you ask any of us parents who lost children from heroin, they hide it so well, and you don't know it until it's too late.
I know I got to close it, but you're absolutely right. Don't be sorry. You're absolutely right, and it never starts with heroin. It starts with cigarettes and pot and alcohol and pills, and can become tragic very quickly.
Pay attention when they're young, just like
Pay
Chrissy
attention
said.
when they're young. I want to thank all three of you for being here
Yeah,
today
thanks,
on the
guys.
line.
Thanks, guys.
You save lives, guys. This is Families in Action on our hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Thanks for listening.